Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com, helping you create something awesome today.
No, Roberto. It is my turn to help. I will make a series of my own to help the other YouTubers and get views, I guess.
I'm gonna start up a nice little series on my channel. Let me put the 100 hat on. My hair is hideous, as always. If I put this as a tag, look at views, some good old Five Nights at Freddy's up here, Golden Freddy. That's lovely. I just realized I have the shirt of my local hockey team on right now. Yovry nipples. Time to put on my Overwatch shirt, my favorite shirt that I have. I'm a disgusting human being who doesn't deserve to live. I'm going to give you all a little bit of a tips video to help you start your gaming channel. Why am I doing all of this marketing stuff? All these hand gestures. I'm going to be doing a nice little gaming help series for all of you who want to start your own gaming YouTube channel, and also give that little Yovry charm in there. So basically the first video right here that I'm going to be showing you is the hardware that you're going to want for your computer and camera for gaming videos and gaming live streams. So basically I'm going to start off this series with hardware, camera, and computer. And what you're going to want in your computer, what sort of specs you're going to want on your camera. I'm going to start off with your computer because I feel like that's going to be a lot easier to... Ow! Corner of the desk is sharp! I'm going to start off with your computer to try to give you a nice little idea of what you're going to want inside your computer. And most of these specs are not what's inside of my computer. Do as I say, not as I do. I am a little bit messed up in skull. I'm going to start off with graphics card, then move on to processor, then move on to RAM, and then move on to memory. Alright? So basically to start off, I'm going to start off with the graphics card. What is inside of my laptop is not your ideal graphics card for when you're starting a gaming channel. When you want to game, you do not want to get a computer that has an Intel video card. What you're going to want is at least an AMD or GTX card. My laptop has an Intel card, and let's just say, they're slow. They're very slow. So basically, Intel cards are made for running basic things such as Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Windows... That's really all it's able to run. You're going to want at least a GTX 1060, maybe even 1070 or higher. Ideally, probably like a 1080, although those are extremely expensive, so if you can't afford one, I don't blame you. Shut up, iPhone. Next thing I want to talk about is your processor. So now for your processor, when you're starting up a gaming channel, you're going to want at least a quad core. I have a dual core. Now, as I said earlier, do as I say, not as I do. Do as I say, not as I do. Usually games require 2 to 4 cores in your processor. And if you only have a dual core processor, then this could be a big problem, even if the game only requires 2 cores. Basically, when you're playing a game and recording, your recording software is going to want to use your processor. At least 1 to 2 of those cores in your processor to be able to record the gameplay, and then the game's going to be using some of those cores in the I don't want to sound like I'm stuttering a lot, because I am. Because I'm stupid. Truth is, games use more than 1 core. Some games even take up to all 4 cores. Yay, Acer. Way to go. 2 breaks in under a year. I would highly recommend getting a octa-core processor with 8 cores. Next, I'm going to talk to you all about RAM. Now, when you're talking about RAM, my computer is a good example of the minimum amount of RAM that you're going to want for your gaming channel, which is 8 GB of DDR3. Now remember, more RAM is better. However, that doesn't mean anything if your graphics card and your processor aren't good. If you have 16 GB of RAM, but you're using an Intel video card, then clearly there's going to be quite a few problems there. However, if you're gaming with 16 GB of RAM and a quad-core processor with, I don't know, a GTX 1080, you're going to have no problems. Now, 8 GB of DDR3 RAM is the bare minimum if you're doing a gaming channel. It'll be fast for editing, and it will be fast for gaming. Now, what's better is to have 16 GB of DDR3 or higher. maybe even have 8 gigabytes of DDR4, which is actually faster than 8 gigabytes of DDR3. But if your motherboard is DDR4, you cannot put DDR3 on it. If your motherboard is DDR3, then you can't put on DDR4 onto it. So don't waste your money and then find out that it doesn't work. Next is memory, and what you're going to want for memory is you're going to want at least a 1 terabyte hard drive. And what's actually better than a 1 terabyte hard drive is an SSD. I would recommend having an SSD and a hard drive if you can't afford a 1 terabyte SSD. Anyways, SSDs are a lot like flash drives. In fact, they're pretty much just a bigger, better version of them. Now, if you don't have the money for an SSD, don't worry, I have a much cheaper solution for you that I will get into right after I explain how an SSD works compared to a hard drive and why it's faster. So an SSD pretty much is just a regular flash drive. It doesn't spin because it's not a disk. It doesn't have to worry about that RPM, rotations per minute, or anything. It just loads up the files from it. Now, the reason that I would say get an SSD is when you're converting a video on your editor, or loading up a file, or loading up a game, or anything else, it's a lot better to save it or load it up from the SSD. Now, when you're converting a file from your editor, I would highly recommend converting it to your SSD and then copying it to the hard drive. Trust me, this will make it a whole lot faster than if you're converting it straight to the hard drive. Now, this will actually be 3 times faster, about 3 to 4 times faster, to convert it to the SSD and then copy it to the hard drive than it will to just save it straight to the hard drive. Believe it or not, that's how it works. Now, a cheaper solution to an SSD, if you don't have the hundreds of dollars, is to go out and buy one of these. Where is my bag? It's way over there, that's right. So basically a good investment to have if you don't have the money for an SSD is to buy one of these. And what is this? This is a Lexar USB 3.0 with 64 gigabytes on it. Now you may be thinking, now with a USB 3.0 it does save things about 3 times faster than your usual hard drive. Now what you're going to typically want to use when you're doing a gaming video is you're going to want to use a external camera such as a camcorder, which is what I'm using right now, or even a DSLR, etc. Whatever you want to use. If you're using a webcam, that will slow down your computer. Now, depending on how fast your computer is and how powerful it is, it may not be that noticeable. Now, if you're live streaming, then yes, get a webcam. I would recommend getting a webcam that records at 720p 30 FPS minimum, such as the one that I use for my live streams. This webcam right here is the webcam that I use for my live streams. It is the Logitech C270. It doesn't say on it, but I remember. It's the Logitech C270, and it records 720p 30 frames per second. When you're playing games on a console such as the Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, or PlayStation 4, I would highly recommend getting the Elgato HD60. Now, this will allow you to play games and record them at 1080p 60 FPS, but you are going to need a fairly powerful computer to do it. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to need a high-end gaming PC if you're doing console gaming and you just need a computer to record it with. Now, consoles do come with their own screen recorders built in. However, the Elgato HD60 is actually a lot better quality than those other ones. Shut up, iPhone. I don't care. Now, for your computer, what you're going to want inside of your computer is at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. Recommended is a minimum of 6 if you're doing the recording. Now, when you're gaming, you're going to want at least 8, I would recommend. But if you're just gaming on your Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch and you just need a system to record it with on your computer, I sound very stupid at this point. I'm not even going to retake that. A 6 GB RAM computer with a dual-core processor. That's really all you're going to need for when you're recording. However, if you're planning on doing actual good edits on Filmora or even Sony Vegas, then I would highly recommend getting a quad-core processor and 8 gigabytes of RAM minimum. Just take what I said for the gaming PC and just get that sort of stuff. I hope that this video helped you all. If you want to start a gaming channel, go ahead and link your channel in the description down below. If you have a gaming channel, I would be so happy to check it out. Maybe we could do a collab in the future. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.